Hello there, and for this lesson, hopefully you've still got your cutout from last time, because you're going to need that today. So if you haven't got that, you might want to go back and reprint that off. You're also going to need a cardboard box. So I've got a cereal box, but a box that's quite strong but thin enough that it's easy to cut through. And you're going to need some scissors and a pen as well. And you might also want to think about colouring your artwork today. So you might want to use some bright colours. So maybe felt tips or paint or crayons even would be good. Okay, so what I'm going to start with today is we're going to try and make make a sculpture based on the work of Keith Haring. So we really looked a lot at Keith Haring's work last week, but mostly looked at his drawing. And so now we're going to have a little look at some of the sculptures that he created, and we're going to use them as a starting point for creating our own sculptures. So let's have a look at those now. Have a look at this sculpture here. So you can see from the buildings in the background and the plants that these are really big sculptures, probably as tall as an adult at least. And they're made of metal and they're painted. So I'm going to show you them from different angles. So they look a bit like the figures that you had last week. And if you have a look, you can see that each figure is touching one of the other figures, or maybe actually both of the other figures. So the blue one's touching the yellow and the red's touching the yellow and the blue, just to make sure that they're really strong and going to stand up. So let's have a look at one of the other angles. Can't see it quite so clearly on there, but you can see there how the red one is touching the yellow and the hands are kind of beside each other. So that might help you thinking about planning your sculpture. And you can see on the other angle on here. I think the first photo is the best one to really see what's going on. So what we're going to do is take your figure and you're going to try and get 3 figures in different poses, and we're going to cut them out and see if we can kind of get them to attach to each other and see if we can get them to stand up and be strong. Okay, so we're going to think about the poses that they're going to be in. We're going to think about how they're connecting to each other. So it could be like this blue one here, it's just got a leg on the yellow one's knee, or the red one's kind of, you can see the yellow one's holding on to the red one's shoulder there. So loads of different ways you can get them to connect. It could be that they're just all holding hands. You have a think about that, and each sculpture will be completely different and unique. Okay, let's have a go. I'm going to have a go now at posing my figure and then cutting it out 3 times and seeing if I can create a sculpture. Okay, so back to our figure here. This is an option. If you've got some coloured paper, you can use that, but you don't have to use that. You could colour it in. I've got some coloured paper, so I'm just going to do a little bit of gluing onto the back here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my figure over the top and cut it out. So I think I'm going to try and get my figures in 3 different poses if I can. So if I get that onto, just glue that onto my cardboard. And then what I'm going to do is get my figure on and then draw around them. So I'll just see if they fit into this piece of paper that I've got. So I might want to, I want to keep the feet flat, and that will help them to balance a bit better. If I've got the feet like that, it's not as much room for them to balance. I'm going to try and keep my feet flat. So if I want to bend the knees, I just need to see if I'm going to do that. There we go. Okay. And thinking about them, how we're going to join them, I might have the hands so that that one might be looking to join into another one of the other sculptures at the side, and another one on here like that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw around. So I'm going to draw around in a pen just so it's easier to see, but if I wasn't doing it for you, I'd be doing it with a pencil. So I'm just going to draw around this body shape. And this has moved a little bit here, so I just need to get that back into position. If you had the split pins through, it makes it an awful lot easier, but I don't have any here. So I'm just having to do it without. So there we go, that looks better. So we've got my first figure there. I'm going to repeat that now using, I can use colours if I've got some different colours. The primary colours are best, but I don't have any yellow paper. So I might use those two colours. This blue, but if you don't have that, don't worry, just cut it out of here, and you might have quite a bright colour on the back anyway. That might look quite good. So I suppose you can do maybe 3 the same, or you can try them in different poses, cut them out, and then we can have a look at how we can fit them together. So I'm going to start to do that now, so on we go. So I've cut out my blue figure and I've stuck down my green paper. Remember, you don't have to use coloured paper if you don't have any, that's okay. And just to make it a bit easier, I've drawn around most of the figure, but I've left the leg just because these parts were moving around quite a lot. So I thought I'll draw around most of it, right round to here, and then I've left the legs. So I thought what I could do now is just change a bit of this figure rather than changing the whole thing. So I might go like that. I'm still thinking, how's it going to meet and connect onto one of the others. So and then I can cut that one out, and I'll probably do the same, see what I can do with my third figure, my red one. So I've got my 2 figures now cut out, so I'm just having a little think about how they're going to join together. And I think what I'm going to do is have the next figure the same as this one, but kind of opposite, so that the long legs can touch each other. So these ones might join at the hands, and then I'll have one joining at the leg here, maybe joining at the leg there. So I'm going to do my third one now, so I'm going to copy this figure, but I'm going to do it in reverse. So instead of drawing around it like this, I'm going to flip that over, and I can draw around it like that. And I just need to see if I can fit it onto my box, because I'm running out of cardboard a little bit. But, so, yeah, there we go. That'll fit on that way. Okay. So now I've got my 3 figures, I'm going to think about how I'm going to get them to all stand up. And my challenge is to try and get them to do it without using any glue or sellotape. Okay? If you get really stuck, you can use glue and sellotape. But first of all, see if you can get them standing all together without using any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do that by slotting them together. So first thing I want to do is think about how they're going to go together. So hopefully, just so that you can see that. Yeah. I'm going to get these 2 to join together at their feet. So they'll be kind of like that. And then my other one, I think I'm going to try and get them to join together at the hands. So this hand joining to that hand. So I'm going to join these feet first of all. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to cut about halfway up here. So I don't want to go too far up. I can always cut it a little bit more if I need to. And I don't want to go too near the edge because it will be weaker then. So I'm going to cut this one about halfway. Maybe not quite halfway because I can always do a bit more. So you can see there, I just made a little cut. And the other one, I'm going to cut the same, but from the top down. So we're going to do the opposite kind of cut, same length, like that. Now this might not work first time, that's okay, but I can change it around. And then what I'm going to do is try and slot those two together, so I can get them to join in. So you can see there, oh, they don't quite match up. So what I'm going to do is give this red one a tiny snip more, and my green one a tiny snip more as well, not too much. And then I can always go back and do a bigger cut, but I can't make the cut smaller. If you do go too far, you can always just glue it on. So that's, well, that's perfect, that's worked really well. So you can see there, would they stand as a two? Don't think so. But you can see there, that's then joined, nice and strong. And then my third person needs to join them, and we want to join them by the hands. And I'm just going to try and do that in the same way. Now I'm hoping this is going to stand up, but they might have to have their feet. That foot might not be in the air, we'll just see how we get on. So let's have a look and see if we can get them to stand. So I'm going to cut up in here, about halfway, and on this side as well, about halfway. So if I've cut from the bottom on this one, the other ones I need to cut from the top. So I'm going to cut down about halfway. If your paper comes loose, you can just, like this, you can just glue it back on again. That's happened to me on a few of them. There we go. And same on the red figure. I want to go down and like that. Let's see if I can get them to join together. If it doesn't work, we can think about how else we can get them to stand. But as long as they're all standing, that's what I'm looking for. So I can get this one to join on here. Oops. Open that up a little bit. So that's standing now, joined quite nicely. And then I want to join my blue onto my green. Let's see how that's going to work. Good. And are they all going to be standing? Oh, almost. Almost standing. I think the tricky thing is because I've got these legs, but that's fine actually, they can be all like that. If I wanted to make them even stronger, I could always join these feet together as well. So that would be okay to do. So I might want to join the feet together, but I think I'm going to keep them like that. I'm just going to move the camera so you can see them from the side. If I'd done all the figures with legs coming down, they'd have been a lot sturdier, I think. Let's see. I'm going to join the feet together here, just to make them a bit stronger. Let's have a look. And there we go. That's like that. Okay, might need a bit more glue on there. Good. And then on here. So if I was doing this again, I might put all the legs. I might put all the legs on the ground. Would have made it a bit stronger. If I could, let's have a look. There we go. So I've got my three figures here. I'm going to show you now what they look like from the side. So here they are, joined together. And the good thing about these is I could always put them in a different pose. These hands might be quite nice if they could get them joined together. I think I'm going to do that. You could tie string and have them hanging from somewhere. So I'm going to just do that now, fix the hands and get them joined together. I've joined the hands there. That's actually been really good. It's made them really, really stable. Okay. So there is my 3D sculpture based on the figures of Keith Haring. And I've added colour, but if you didn't have the colour, you could just paint these, or you could crayon on, or felt tip or pencil, or whatever you want, or just leave them blank. It's up to you. Okay, good luck. Look forward to you sharing your sculptures so we can see how they turn out. Thank you, bye.